Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Within the Chapter, the show that highlights talents in the arts. My name is Judith Kitson, and my guest today is Roger O. Williams, the author for the new provocative book, Murder for Sale. Roger, welcome to the show.
No problem. Thank you for having me on the show, Judith.
You know, I have so many things I want to get into with you. I read your bio, and I've realized you've done a lot of work in the arts. You have a strong theater background, not only in acting, but you were also a stage manager and was a stagehand. Recently, though, people are getting to discover you because of your writing. Mm-hmm. And you have written 2 books thus far.
Yes, Turn Back Blow. My first book, it's a tale about animal cruelty. And my new book, Murder for Sale, is a book about contract killing.
Very interesting titles and themes. But before we talk about your books, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised in Jamaica, in one of the rural parishes, a place called Manchester. But I moved to Kingston in 1998, where I did commercial theater for until I migrated to the United States in 2008. I joined the U.S. Army in 2010, where I suffered a broken ankle in basic training. And later that year, I got a medical discharge from the Army.
So sorry to hear about your ankle. And is it better now?
It's a lifelong injury, I'm holding up. Plus, I believe God took me out of the Army to be the voice for his abused animals, via my first book, Turn Back Blow.
You said God took you out of the Army. That's a very strong belief. And not only that, some people do believe that everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
So, you said you were born and raised in rural Jamaica. What was it like growing up in rural Jamaica?
Growing up in rural Jamaica was fun and adventurous. My experience growing up in rural Jamaica plays an integral role in my writing and the way I tell my stories.
In what way?
All right. For example, that's where my love for animals developed. And even though my mama didn't have any animals of her own, the neighbors' dogs, cats, and chickens, they would come into our yard to eat whatever food I usually left for them. The animals knew that little barefooted boy would feed them.
Did you walk around barefooted as a kid?
Of course, a lot. I used to only wear shoes when I was going to school and church. And sometimes I didn't have any shoes to wear. So I just go to school without shoes, I was the only kid in class with his 10 commandments on the ground.
10 commandments?
Yeah, my 10 toes, It was a sight to behold of.
I can just imagine. So you grew up around animals, and this is what inspired you to write the book?
Actually, I got the inspiration back in 2011 when I saw a real TV news report video on YouTube with a group of people in Jamaica using a live mongrel dog as bait to capture a crocodile from a river.
It is really sad. And you came up with this idea right there and then?
You mean after I watched the video?
After you watched the video.
Yeah, because you know what? I realized that the reason why the people were using the dog as bait was due to a lack of education on the animal cruelty issue. It's also a cultural thing, a cultural issue. It's not the culture in Jamaica to show compassion towards animals. Don't get me wrong. There are people in Jamaica who love their dogs. Yeah, but majority of the population in Jamaica, they're not really animal lovers. So, Turn Back Blow, it was a much needed book, a book that's just simply showing the people that animals have feelings too.
So the book is more about raising awareness about animal cruelty and not just rather than saying, hey, Jamaicans abuse animals.
Exactly. It's bringing awareness to the issue while it educates and entertains its reader simultaneously.
So, it's a fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the idea after seeing the news report.
Yeah.
But what is the actual book about? Explain the plot.
Oh, yeah. Turn Back Blow. It's set in St. Catherine, Jamaica, along the Riacobi River, in a fictitious town called Iron Bridge. So the actual story is about a group of stray animals in Jamaica who joined forces with a 10-year-old disabled boy to fight against some human animal abusers.
Mm-hmm.
The little boy, he's the only human on the island who has the capability of talking with animals. Judith, Turn Back Blow, it's more than a story about animal cruelty. It's a story about friendship. Mm-hmm. It's a story about unification, because the animals, they have to unite to overcome their adversaries. And so that means we humans who read the book,
mm-hmm.
we can learn from the animal characters in this book.
This sounds interesting. Everything about this sounds interesting. So, do you know of any Jamaicans who have read the book?
Oh, yeah. Quite a few, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And what was their reaction?
I would say they love it because they can relate to the animal characters and the storyline, etc. And this book, it has opened so many people's eyes on the subject, not just Jamaicans, because animal cruelty, it's a universal problem. So, many people from other countries are supporting the book too.
Yeah. I actually saw that on your Facebook page, and people as far as like Israel, Ireland, the Philippines, I see them take pictures with their pets and grandkids with the book.
Oh, yeah, man. People of all age group, race and nationalities are reading the book, and readers worldwide, including American readers, they told me that it's one of the best animal stories they have ever read. And Judith, I must point out that this book was catalogued by top university libraries. Universities such as Oxford, Yale, Harvard, Princeton, and Dalhousie University in Canada.
That's a major achievement, Roger. You must be proud of yourself.
Oh, yeah. I'm more than proud. Listen to me. I'm proud, but I think my mommy, she's way more prouder than me.
But mom in this situation should have the right to be proud. The last question on this book before we move on to your more recent book. What is the meaning of Turn Back Blow? And why did you choose that title?
Okay, you have quite a few people ask me that question, Turn back blow is an old Jamaican people saying. The wise elderly in the village? It means whatever evil a person do, some form of evil will turn back on them later on in their lives. Hence the words in the title, Turn Back. So this means all animal abusers who abuse animals, one day they're going to get their turn back blow. Their evil action is going to turn back on them.
I was wondering about that turn back. But it's interesting though. Basically it's karma.
Yeah. Just like karma. It's basically the same thing, And Judith, I wish all animal abusers would, read Turn Back Blow. Same as how I wish all men who hurt women and children would read my new book, Murder for Sale.
That's another serious topic, because we're moving from animal cruelty now. And this new book, Murder for Sale, the title of the book just makes you curious and they would want to read the book. It has this rusty, gritty look.
You mean like the cover, the front?
Yeah, the cover, yeah. Who came up with that idea for the cover?
A lot of people told me that they have never seen a book cover like Murder for Sale before. And I created that image in my mind. I put it on paper. I went to Jamaica, paid one of my Rastafarian friends to build a set for me. But it was tricky because we were in Manchester and it's hilly and greeny. But we needed the picture of the front book to look like it was actually taken in an inner city community in Kingston. And at the end, we pulled it off. And I must say, the guy who took the picture, he did the actual artwork.
Yes.
He did an awesome job as well.
Just amazing. For me, it's amazing because you just randomly chose a spot. And it is actually building some traction somewhat. It comes down to the next question I wanted to ask on Murder for Sale. Most people, I feel, would be curious to read the book. And my reason would be because they read the blurb at the back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I agree 100% on that.
So, it doesn't only sound like an interesting story. It seems very deep. Tell me what Murder for Sale. Tell me exactly what the story is about.
Murder for Sale is about Troy, a 25-year-old young man who lives with his sick grandmother in one of the most impoverished inner city communities in Kingston, Jamaica. And Troy does vigilante killings in order to numb the pain of his traumatic past. When his grandmother becomes gravely ill and is in need of an expensive surgery to save her life, Troy is approached by an evil drug lord who is willing to pay for the surgery. But the drug lord wants an enormous favor in return. Troy must kill the drug lord's number one enemy, a cop. Troy immediately declines the offer, but with time running out on his grandmother's life and no other option, Troy is forced to make a decision that will change his life forever.
It's really an interesting premise, And also, what I also like about the blurb is it make you curious to know if Troy is actually going to carry out the action, to save his grandmother's life.
Yeah, and a lot I get that question from people a lot, But I always tell them that they have to read the book to find that out. But that's one of the reasons why many people are buying the book.
That's a very good marketing skill, telling people to buy the book. You can't just imagine how people are curious, how curious people have become. Because the book sounds, it comes down to the next question, rather. I should ask you that. This is a question I need to ask you. You mentioned that Troy secretly carry out vigilante actions. And this is based on the fact that he's trying to numb his pain. So these From my perspective, are very provocative topics. What made you choose to write about these huge, very pertinent social issues?
Okay, I write serious social issues. That's my style. I told myself that I don't want to write about the same thing that everyone is writing about, you know? Plus, writing is part of the arts. For me, it's not just about making money. It's about educating the people as well. And it's working, because people are now, they're asking me, Roger, where do you get the topics from? Where do you get the ideas from? What inspired you to write this book,
And I have a similar question myself. Why contract killing? That's a heavy subject matter for any person to address. And why did you choose that particular topic?
All right, look at it this way. We live in a world where when someone kills someone, we tend to sympathize with that person who was killed and their family. So I asked myself one day, what if that person who killed the person, is not really a hitman, but, is an individual that was forced to kill someone because of an unfortunate situation in his or her life?
Very deep. And the vigilante killing that Troy does to numb his pain. This sounds like Troy has some serious issues.
Very serious issues. And you have a lot of people, when they read the blurb, that's the part why they want to read the book, Everybody wants to know what emotional pain this young man could have so huge that he has to kill to numb that pain.
Troy does sound like quite a compelling character. How is the feedback from people so far who has read the book?
The feedback from people who have read Murder for Sale is beyond my expectation.
Can you give an example of why it is beyond your expectation?
Yeah, for example, I didn't know it was going to be a page turner. People told me that the book have had them sitting up late at night reading. One lady told me that she didn't go to bed until 4 a.m. in the morning. Another lady told me that, she made a mistake and to start reading while she was cooking. And from the first page, she forgot her pot on the stove. Yeah, so many people people who read the book told me that they found it hard to put down this book.
So from my understanding, you are getting an overwhelming response.
Oh yeah, definitely overwhelming. And I must say, women in particular, they love this book because it's also showing people, men who hurt women and children, that it's wrong. So I'm getting a lot of thank you from, women for bringing awareness to this issue. And I'm getting a lot of compliments such as for my writing, for my strong characters, for my dialect. People are calling the book gripping, intriguing, intense, riveting. But Judith, my most favorite feedback from readers, they told me that once they start to read the book, each chapter makes them want to go to the next chapter because they want to find out what's going to happen in the end. So I would say there are just so many examples why the reception towards Murder for Sale is beyond my imagination.
I think every author wants to hear that type of good feedback. You said in the first book, it shows people that animals have feelings too. And is there a similar meaning you wanted when you wrote Murder for Sale? Do you want to get a similar taste? You want people to...
you mean like a similar message?
Or a similar message, rather, to the people.
Yes, one of my objectives with Murder for Sale is to show the young youth of today who are quick to resolve an issue with violence, especially those who love to solve their problems with the gun, to show them that violence is not the answer to resolving an issue.
So it comes back down to your writing style, huh?
Precisely.
And that is your purpose for writing, of course.
Oh, yes.
Where can people buy Murder for Sale?
Oh, Murder for Sale and Turn Back Blow is available online only for now. And when people searching for Murder for Sale, they have to type Murder for Sale by Roger O. Williams. But both books are available on Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, eBay, and they're available in paperback, hardbacks, and on Kindle as well.
So do you have a fan page?
Oh yeah, once you Google author Roger O. Williams, you'll see my Facebook page. And if you're already in Facebook, you just have to type author Roger O. Williams.
If you have a message to give to the youth, what would that message be?
To all the youth out there who is watching this interview, stay focused, stay strong, obey your parents, Sometimes it may be hard on your parents, especially if your parent is a single parent. But stay in school. Don't do drugs. Schoolgirls, leave sex for later. Put your education first. And you know what? When you think you can't make it, just think about me. I grew up poor. And didn't have shoes or lunch money to go to school sometimes. But look at me now. I have written 2 powerful books. So that means if I can do it, you can do it.
Very interesting speech. Thanks for being here, Roger. It was really a pleasure having you here. We have learned so much about you. We have learned about your books, and we also learned that you have an intent to educate and entertain. It's like a mission. You're basically in a mission to open up people's eyes on crucial social issues rather. And we look forward really and truly to talking with you again.
Oh yeah, I must say, Judith, it's a pleasure to be here and I really appreciate it.
Well, this is all for tonight, folks. Thank you for joining us, and join us again next week for another episode of Within the Chapter. Good night.